Hi everybody and welcome to another episode of Chris Cooks Content. My name's Chris. Today I'm going to do a bit of cooking. But what to cook? Well, the weather's getting colder. It's footy season. It's rugby season. So today I'm going to show you the perfect dish that you can share with friends for lunch or for dinner if they come around to watch the big game. It's got a bit of this in it. It's got a bit of this in it. Today we are going to make steak and stout pie. But my recipe also includes a secret ingredient that takes it over the top. What's that ingredient? You're gonna have to stick around for the recipe to find out. Let's go. The full title of today's recipe is steak and stout and cheddar and the secret ingredient pie. It's simple, there's a very few ingredients. You can throw it together quickly, but you gotta let it cook. Couple of steps in this one, you gotta let it do its thing, but you will be rewarded. Ingredient number 1, 2 large onions. I've just sliced them. They cook for a long time and the onions really disintegrate into nothing, so it really doesn't matter if you slice them, chop them, whatever you do. So just some sliced onion, 2 large onions, and we're gonna fry them. Into the pot it goes. All right, frying the onion. Good glug of olive oil. And today we are also adding a big knob of butter. In go the onions. Onion cooking 101. Think about the finished product. Is it chicken noodle soup or something that has white chicken meat and a clear broth? In that case, don't cook your onions with colour. Just sweat them without colour. Today, beef, steak, and stout pie. The finished product is dark. We want a dark gravy, we want a flavourful gravy. So for that, we fry the onions. We give them a bit of colour. And that's also why I put the butter in. The butter will add some colour as well as some flavour. But this takes time. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You've got to let it cook. You've got to give it its time. Not really that hot, just a medium heat. Give it 5 to 10 minutes. Coming along, you can see they're quite brown. We're getting some brown on the bottom of the pan. That'll add flavour to our pie during the next steps. I have added a splash little more olive oil just to keep it going, but there's still quite a bit of water in those onions. I think we want them to break down a little more, and we still want a bit more colour. So probably another 5 minutes. Patience will be rewarded. Now we're there, we've got some real dark brown going on some of those onions, and it's broken down really to half the size it was, maybe even a third of the size it was. And time for ingredient number 2. Ingredient number 2, here's that steak that we've cut up. As I said, it's about 1 kilogram. Just cut it into cubes. This is chuck steak today. You can also use gravy beef, casserole beef, these sorts of things. I cut out the big chunks big chunks of fat that you sometimes get in chuck steak, but the smaller chunks and that intramuscular fat that's still there, that's where you get the flavour. We add big whack of flour. Big whack of flour, plain flour, good sprinkle of salt, and a big crack of black pepper. We're mixing that up just so that we can coat the beef with the flour. We're going to fry that off so it sort of cooks the flour, which helps to thicken the sauce later on. And we're ready. Okay, here we go. The pan is good and hot. We are not trying to cook the beef at this time. We are just trying to sear it on the outside. Just drop some in. We want to get rid of the flour. Just want the flour that's coating it. We don't want the flour that's coming from the bottom of the bowl. That's probably about enough. We want it to cook. We want it to colour on the sides. And I used some vegetable oil, not olive oil, to fry it in this time. Okay, I hope you can see that. That's batch 1 basically done. We've got some brown colour. We've cooked that flour. That's going to thicken the sauce. I'm going to do the other batches. We'll cut to the end. Searing stage finished. There's the meat. There's the onions. Lots of brown, lots of colour there. We're ready for stage 3, which includes the secret ingredient. Stage 3, we're nearly there. You can see on this pan we've got quite a crust that's been built up. It's part of the flour, sort of the fat from the meat, other juices from the meat, some of the little bits of onion, there's tiny little bits of meat here. That is all flavour, and this will all dissolve with the liquid that we're adding in, and that's going to dissolve and give you the flavour into the sauce. So, step 1. Our meat and onions go back in. Now we're going to add our stout. Just 1 cup. In that goes. It does raise the question of what you do with the rest of the bottle of stout. You know, we've used about 2/3 in this, but I'm sure you'll think of something. One teaspoon of beef stock powder. Give that a bit of a stir. We're going to add some water just from the kettle so that it's hot water so that it cooks, just so that we almost cover. We don't want to cover, we want the meat sticking up a little bit. We just want to almost cover that. And without further ado, the secret ingredient, here it is, Vegemite. It adds umami, it adds some salt, it adds base flavour. If you were to talk to your grandma or your mum, they'd say, yeah, we used to put Vegemite in the gravy when we were making roast beef. So about a teaspoon, it is strong. In that goes. That'll melt in. Stir it all around. It really works. If you've never thought of it, give it a try. If you don't want to use Vegemite, put a couple of big dashes of Worcestershire sauce. That also really adds some base flavour, adds some umami. I'm not putting any extra salt in. There's salt in Vegemite. There was salt when we cook the beef, and there's a lot of salt in that stock powder. But a good crack of black pepper. We bring this to the boil, so it wants to bubble again. Then you want to cook it slowly for 2 hours. As long as it's bubbling, that's enough. You can do it in the oven at 140 degrees, in which case you stir it about once an hour. I do it on the stove, and we've got one of these. This is like a heat diffuser. Put it on the low stove. That prevents a hot spot forming or a burning spot forming under the pan. Stir it about every 30 minutes. We're about an hour in. Have a bit of a look. I forgot to mention before that you need to put a lid on this one. So yes, that's looking good, coming together. You can see the sauce is thickening, the gravy. All of that flavour is slowly dissolving off the sides of the pan. Just going to leave a little bit of steam escape from that side of the pan. It'll thicken the sauce slightly, but it's going to take another hour. And we are back 2 hours later. And this is it. It's ready to go. Our pie filling is complete. It's got a beautiful glossy gravy. It's reduced down a little. It is still quite runny, quite liquid if you look at it. That's fine because of how we're going to finish off the pie. This can sit like this in the fridge for a week. You could prepare this a week in advance, ready for your friends to come around to watch the big game, or you could serve half for your kids midway through the week, save the other half for your friends on match day. We'll be back. I am literally eating this one for my dinner tonight. So we're going to wait until it's dinner time for me to finish it off, and I'm going to eat it straight after you guys see the finished product. We'll see you at dinner time. Let's finish these things off and get them into the oven. doing pies in ramekin dishes today. Easy way to do it, we fill up the ramekin dish, we put some puff pastry over the top. That's why, when I was speaking earlier, I said it didn't matter that it was really a saucy meat filling, quite a liquidic meat filling. It's because we're putting it in these ramekin dishes. As you can see, I haven't got 4 ramekin dishes that match. But anyway, we got 4 dishes. There's probably enough for another 2 ramekins out of the amount we made. So just if you're thinking about how much to cook, you'd probably get half a dozen pies out of 1 kilogram of beef, couple of onions, and the rest of the ingredients. So first we put a sprinkling of cheddar cheese just to finish it off. This really tastes good. That goes underneath the pastry top. It's tempting to use the pre-bought, pre-shredded cheese in a packet. I think, again, there's so few ingredients in this pie. You want to get some beautiful flavor, and you have more flavor from a block of cheddar cheese that you've grated than from the pre-shredded cheese. Then we just take frozen puff pastry straight from the supermarket freezer. You might be tempted to cut it into a circle to match the top. Don't do it, and I'll tell you why in a minute when we serve. After we've done that, brush the top with beaten egg. This makes the top go beautiful and golden, beautiful and crunchy, gets a beautiful flavor out of that pastry. And the last little bit, just put a tiny little hole in the top so the steam can come out. The rest of the pastry cooks to a more crunchy top. I'm going to finish off these last 4, get them into the oven. See you for service. And here it is, the finished dish, and not a moment too soon. I meant it when I said that this is my dinner tonight. I can't wait, I'm starving. We didn't cut that pastry into a circle, so we got these beautiful crunchy corners. Extra pastry, extra things to dip into that beautiful gravy. Serving it today with some mashed potato, some minted peas, some salt and butter on those peas. You can put tomato sauce on it if you want. I won't judge you. That is far and away better than anything you're going to get at a game of footy, and it won't cost an arm and a leg. That's it. That's a wrap, and that was delicious. If you don't make this one, hey, what can I tell you? You're missing out on some great food. If you like what you see, drop a like, and if you subscribe, you will be the first to know the next time a video drops. I'll see you next time. Thank you.